Hello everyone, my name is Harrison and today I wanted to try out a new type of video telling the stories of heroic people that I've found from the past. I was inspired to do this when this morning I was walking my dog while on holiday and saw a plaque for a United States Air Force pilot from World War II. And after I was asking around the local town, no one seemed to know about it. So I'm currently doing some research on him and should hopefully have a video about him out next time. But today I wanted to do a video on Mariya Vasilyevna Oktyabrskaya. I am terrible at pronouncing her name, but she was a woman who lost everything after the Nazis invaded the Soviet Union during World War II. And she went on to get vengeance on those that took it from her, driving the tank which was nicknamed the Fighting Girlfriend. So the footage in the background today is from Post Scriptum, just if you're wondering. But let's start at Mariya's beginning. So she was born in Crimea to a poor Ukrainian family as a serf, which is practically a slave, before the Communist Revolution. So until the age of 12, where the Bolsheviks then took power. She then received a basic education and went on to become employed in a cannery and as a telephone operator. She then met her husband and married him the same year in 1925 and became very interested in his work, joining the Military Wives Council and gaining training as an army nurse, and soon after she learned how to use weapons and how to drive. Sadly, the couple were unable to conceive, however, so they committed themselves fully to the Soviet Union and to the military. In 1941, the war closed in on the Soviet Union after the Nazis declared war and invaded, and she was evacuated to Siberia. It took 2 years for her to learn of her husband's death around Kiev. But when she got the letter, she knew exactly what she wanted. She was so enraged by her husband's death that she sold all of her possessions and worked as hard as she could, saving all the money she could. And after 2 months, she had enough money to buy a T-34 tank and donated it to the Soviet Union. But she did not want someone else to drive it. She wanted to be the one to get vengeance herself. She wrote a letter to Stalin saying, and this is a rough translation here, "My husband was killed in action, defending the motherland. I want revenge on the fascist dogs for his death, and for the death of Soviet people tortured by the fascist barbarians. For this purpose, I've deposited all my personal savings, 50,000 rubles, to the National Bank in order to build a tank. I kindly ask to name the tank Fighting Girlfriend, and to send me to the front line as a driver of the said tank." Now, it said Stalin was moved by this letter, but also knowing the effect that it would have on morale, he quickly responded saying, "Thank you, Mariya, for your concern of the armed forces of the Red Army. Your wish will be fulfilled. Please accept my greetings, Supreme Commander Joseph Stalin." She was now 38 and was enrolled on a training program for tank drivers that lasted for 5 months, a lot longer than normal. This could be due to how high profile she would have become. She was assigned to the 26th Guards Tank Brigade in September of 1943 after passing out of the tank driving school, and she was given her T-34 tank with Fighting Girlfriend painted on the side of the tank. Some of her fellow soldiers discounted her though, thinking it was just a PR move, but she would soon prove them wrong. Now, throughout World War II, around 800,000 women joined the Red Army to fight the Nazis. Most of them did join the Air Force, but there were some who fought as foot soldiers, snipers, tank drivers, mechanics, and various other roles. Mariya was one of these, and she soon saw action. In October, she took part in the Second Battle of Smolensk. She was reportedly the first tank to break through enemy lines, making way for more soldiers to breach the gap she made. She then took out anti-tank guns, several machine gun nests, and enemy infantry, whilst outmanoeuvring the enemy herself. Becoming noticeable to an enemy, however, they shelled her tank, bringing it to a halt. But she would not let this stop her. Against orders from her superiors, she leaped out of the tank and repaired it as the battle continued around her, shielding herself from enemy machine gun fire. When she was done, she returned to the tank and continued fighting. Her comrades now saw her as an equal and gave her the nickname of Mother because of how protective she was of her tank crew and her tank. She was also promoted to the rank of sergeant. After this, she then went on to fight in another battle. However, first, she sent a letter to her sister, roughly translated saying, "I have had my baptism by fire. I beat the bastards. Sometimes I'm so angry I can't even breathe." The next battle she was at was on November the 17th, which was to capture the town of Nova Selu in Vitebsk, where, during the night attack, an artillery shell exploded on her tank's tracks after she pushed through and took out several enemy positions. She again leaped out of the tank, this time with another crewman who covered her as she repaired the tank. The fellow soldiers saw what she was doing and they moved in to shield her from enemy fire using their tanks. She got the tank running again, but was not able to rejoin the battle properly for a couple of days as it underwent more extensive repairs. In January of 1944, the Soviets attacked a fortified enemy position. It's said that Mariya and the fighting girlfriend destroyed entrenched enemy positions, self-propelled guns, and enemy infantry. However, they eventually took a hit to the fighting girlfriend's track. Mariya once again leaped out to repair the tank. However, her luck had run out now. She was hit by an artillery shell after completing the repairs on her tank, and she took several shrapnel wounds and rendered unconscious after being hit in the head, the legs, and the arms. Fellow soldiers came forward and took her out of the battle on a stretcher, where she was then taken to Smolensk, where the surgeon reportedly wrote in his notes, "Much blood loss, overall weak state." She was awarded the military decoration Order of the Patriotic War, First Degree, by Major Les Melsock. Her condition worsened, however, preventing her from being transferred to a hospital in Moscow. She then slipped into a coma and 2 months later passed away on March 15th, 1944. She is remembered as a Russian folk hero for her efforts in the Second World War and was posthumously made a hero of the Soviet Union, in addition to receiving the Orton Lennox and a Snack Guardia. Through her courage, determination and anger, she showed the capabilities of women in combat. Well, thank you all for listening to that. Whilst researching about Mariya, I was amazed about her, what she went through, and what she did in order to get vengeance on those that took it all from her. And it's the amount of courage that she had is beyond most people that I know. But I want to know what you guys think. Did you like this? Would you have liked more information on her? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you have anyone that you'd like me to do a bit of research on and make a video about, if it's someone in your family, or a story you've heard, or a plaque in your town that you don't quite know the story about, if you let me know, I'll do some research and I'll try and make a video on it. But once again, thank you all for watching. I do hope that soon I will have done enough research on the US Air Force pilot, First Lieutenant Arthur L. Brown, and I should hopefully have a video coming out about him soon. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, I do hope you enjoyed it, and until the next one, take care.